Welcome, welcome everyone to the Daily News Rock Show on Rockers Edge Radio and chaoticradio.com as well. And today we are getting to speak with frontman, vocalist, bass player Sam Spade of the Midnight Devils. How are you rocking out this evening?
I'm doing great tonight. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us here on the Daily News Rock Show on Rockers Edge Radio. I'm real excited to talk to you. Now, for those of you tuning in, if you are listening to Rockers Edge regularly, you will have already heard some of the music from the Midnight Devils because we've already played them in one of the music mix and they are playing in rotation. So this is kind of like a follow-up. Now we get to go back and talk to the artist about the music that we're playing, and find out a little bit more about them, and the process. Now, today we're only speaking with one member, but you have a couple of members. You're a trio. Give a shout out. Let everybody know out there who's the other members of the band and, what they do.
Yeah, absolutely. And the only reason that I'm alone is because we are spread out over 3 different cities. So it kind of makes it tough for us all to get together. We don't really do it unless we're doing shows. But the guy that's closest to me, my partner, Chris Heinlein, Sniper, he's the lead guitar player, the musical director of our band. And just one hell of a musician, and really the guy that kind of keeps us all in line, if you will. Like he's the general. You're like, yes, sir. Whatever you need, my friend. And now on the opposite end of that, the loose cannon, the wild card, Jimmy Mess from Chicago, Illinois. He's the drummer, and he's rock and roll incarnate. He is the wild guy out in the streets that is just beyond control. But he lives in this chaos, and I love it. And it's really. It's honest and it's from the heart, and it's never changed. He's rock and roll to the T.
Awesome. You know what? And I think that gives a really good introduction of the fact that I love the way you guys describe yourself. You're that, grand slam, boogie woogie, rock and roll band, that, from that throwback days of that hardcore rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I love that. I thought that was fantastic. I love the description. I love the music, and it really does fit that description. The music really has a really cool rock and roll vibe all the way around. You think back to like Motley Crue, AC/DC, like all the hardcore, when the bands were first coming out and really rocking out in Hollywood and, taking over in that scene and stuff. So I thought the music was fantastic. Now we're here to talk about their new debut album, Bigger Better. They have 11-track album, which recently debuted. It wasn't that long ago. Tell us when it dropped.
That album came out. It was our first record, so it was our debut album. We came out of the gate. 2018 is when it came out. So okay. It's kind of old. We put out 2 singles on it, and it was really a lesson in learning how to put out a rock and roll record on your own terms. It's not just like you go and it happens. You actually have to work and to learn these steps on where to how to record, where to go to record it, who's going to produce the CDs, the physical media, how to get your stuff online, and how to shop that around and make it a product that people can buy and consume. It's really a whole thing. And I love that record because it's so honest, and the songs were, they always say you got like your whole life to write your first record. And that's really what it was. It was songs that we had written, years prior, and that we had in our set list. We've been playing the songs. We knew the songs by the back of our hands. We knew what worked. And then it was all about getting it recorded on tape and bringing Jimmy in from Chicago. And we recorded the record in Omaha with a friend. Greg Turner is the guy that produced it. And it came out great. There's a lot of stuff I would change, a lot of stuff that I know now that we're implementing to make the next one even better. So I love it. I'm very proud of it. I'm proud of where it's gone over the last 2 years. And it really was what started us and put this whole thing into motion where, we get to play shows all over the country because of this record.
Oh, yeah. And it's fantastic. I mean, and then you also have to account for the fact that, even if it was in 2018, you got to account for the fact that we've been shut down for almost a year and a half.
Right.
So it's not like you were able to really go out and hardcore promote everything and do everything that you wanted to do to get it out there, because you had to learn to, everybody though, it wasn't just you, everybody had to learn how to readjust and to do something, different, and, to be able to continue on with their art. And it was great that you were able to do that. I love when you reached out to us and said, hey, would you be willing to check out this music? And, when I was listening to it, it was like, oh, damn, this is awesome. I love this.
Thank you.
It totally reminds me. I love this. I remember going back and just hanging out like in the garage days, blaring the music, that hardcore rock and roll. And it kind of reminded me like that. You just want to blare the music and just rock out for a while and forget the rest of life. for a little bit. So yeah, it was fantastic. How long did when you guys like put it all together and everything like that though? I mean, how long was it before you were able to start doing the videos? Because you have a few videos out already for this,
Yeah.
and right now there's a lot of musicians that haven't really been able to do that because it's kind of hard in the pandemic how to be able to get things together. How long was that? Because I mean, it seems like you have a few of them out already.
Yeah, we put out the record, and we kind of did it out of order, which is another thing that you kind of learn. Like we had shows booked, and we had big tour, like a big tour booked down to the Rocklahoma Festival. So we had to like rush out the EP, which is like the 5-song sampler, and have it shipped to us in Tulsa, Oklahoma, pick it up at the FedEx place. So we had actual CDs to sell at this festival, and the festival's 50,000 people, so it's not like a thing that you take lightly. We took it very seriously. We put out the EP, then the album, put out a lyric video, and then the album dropped, and they were like, well, we need a music video, our debut music video, to show the entire world the Midnight Devils are here. And I think it took a couple months, and it really came from writing. It all comes from just sitting on my couch right over here, writing down ideas on a piece of paper and scripting out a music video. And I think that's really fun. For me, it's really fun to have that kind of control and to have your vision from going from a piece of paper to actually being a video or a song or an album. I think it's the coolest thing ever. It's work, but it's cool to see that it come full circle.
Right, to see everything in fruition in the end, it's definitely worth it, So, and now for that video, that is also one of your debut songs, Pink Halo.
Yeah.
Okay,
Halo,
and
yep.
it's one of the songs that we are playing. So that's one of the songs we're going to feature here today is Pink Halo, because again, it's their off their debut album. It's their first one, and they do have a video for it. And I absolutely love this song.
Thank you.
Love it. I love it. If you know my show, you know Rockers Edge Radio, and we know our listeners, they like that hard rock sound. They like that hard music. And they're definitely gonna, I mean, if you haven't already heard it, you're definitely gonna love it. So give us a quick little thing about Pink Halo when you wrote that song before we play that, tell us a little bit about that song and what that meaning is for you.
Sure. Where it came from is that we had already a couple songs that were kind of this cool, it's very Faster Pussycat style where you mix, say, boogie woogie and glam rock together, and you kind of make this thing, this anomaly that nobody except for, there's a couple bands that have done it, but that's really like our bread and butter is where we kind of mix those things. I was really influenced by Elvis and Jerry Lee Lewis. The other guys, Jimmy wasn't, but that's where I kind of take my inspiration. So we see in our live sets that it's really that down and dirty, simple boogie woogie rock and roll that gets asses shaking. And that's what you want. You want a whole bunch of girls and guys in the front row shaking their asses, having a blast. And we find that these boogie woogie songs do it. And it's like clockwork, and we can make them. And that's kind of, I came up with the idea, the lyrics, and the chord structure. I brought it into Sniper, and of course he takes the song and does his whole Sniper thing and turns it into this cool song that with a walking guitar part and all these chord changes. And I'm like, man, this is really cool. It's super catchy, and the lyrics are completely true about not necessarily one girl that I had dated or that I knew. It's about a couple girls, and kind of compiled them into this story of this girl that everybody kind of knows. It's very relatable to anybody in any circumstance.
Exactly. And that's the fun thing about it, because like you said, you want something that's going to make people move. And right now, as much as we like those music that we just like headbang and stuff, a lot of us want to get out and dance. And you want to get out and move, because music really makes you dance, and it brings people together. It really does, and the lyrics. Yeah, exactly. We all know somebody like this song. We all do. And that's
so
if you're just tuning in. Oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, the cool thing with the Devils, and if you just listen to the song, you kind of get the drift of what we're doing, and you get that ass shaking boogie woogie feeling. You watch the video, you see that it's kind of that we shot part of it at a strip club. There's fake kilos of cocaine in there, and it's really it comes to like glam rock and how we, not only us as a band, but everybody that is in the audience dresses up and makes it look really good. And every night you can look out in the audience and see these people that love glam music, that love rock and roll, that love heavy metal, that love punk. And it's all about this community and bringing everybody in, not just the band, but it's like a celebration of the crowd and the band. Everybody's there to party, to have a good time, and to just be seen and see people. We don't do that enough anymore. And I feel with the Midnight Devils, it's always just this, you always know what you're going to get. We walk into the bar, people are like, oh, we're in for a wild night tonight, you know?
You're like, we're already bringing it. And
right.
You know, and I totally get it because, you know, even the video and stuff, yeah, it does give that feeling of like that old Hollywood Sunset Strip, you know, community of everybody walking down and looking just to have a good time, you know, and it's that camaraderie, you know, nobody's looking to fight, they're all looking to have a good time, you know. So again, if you're just tuning in to the Daily News Rock Show on Rockers Edge Radio, we are speaking with Sam Spade, frontman, vocalist, bass player for the Midnight Devils, and we are about to play Pink Halo, but we have already been playing it in rotation. So this is us going back, being able to talk to the artist about the music that is being played. So check this out. You're gonna love this.
It's a story about a girl I know. No! Or maybe a few girls I know. Well, I dig a girl with the wild hair, always smoking when she drinks.
All right, yeah. And if you're just tuning in, that was Pink Halo from the Midnight Devils, and we are speaking with frontman, vocalist, bass player Sam Spade.
And the crowd goes crazy.
Woo, yeah. And now you know why they're called that Glam Slam Boogie Woogie Rock and Roll Band, because
right.
we want to get up and just move. I know you can't see me now until the visual comes out, but I was dancing around. Of course, you know, if we'll be having the promo pictures or the video if you have it, you know, over this anyways, technically. So actually they won't see me dancing around. But that was fantastic. I love that song. You know, it just, like you said, it's that catchy tune, that catchy phrase. I mean, I'm sitting here singing it because the words just stick in your head. You know, and it makes you want to move. I love that, you know. And now, you know, you guys have been doing some touring. I know that things are slowly opening up and you guys have some shows coming up and that you've been playing some shows.
Yes.
And, you know, just for all our rocker listeners out there, because a little rock and roll, you know, tidbit history information coming up. They also have not only toured and played with Enough's Enough, but they have a collaboration going right now with Chips Enough of Enough's Enough. So tell us about that, you know, a little information about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really cool with this band. You know, as a kid, you always have these lofty goals. You're like 16, you're like, I'm going to play stadiums with my heroes. And right before the pandemic hit, we got invited to be on tour with the Choir Boys, the London Choir Boys. And we did 2 weeks with those guys. And I think the coolest thing about it was that we got to sit down at a bar every night and hang out with Spike and with the guys in the band and become friends with them. And they were guys that I'd seen when I was a kid watching the Hard and Heavy VHS tapes. You know, they're playing Castle Donington, like 90,000 people. And here I am sitting next to a bar with him talking about our families together. It's really like surreal and super cool to see that come around. And through that, you know, we had been kind of, Jimmy, our drummer, lived with Chip. So we had a good relationship with Chip. We'd done a bunch of shows with him. And it just kind of came up where we decided that we wanted him to produce our record, and he was all on board with it. And I didn't really think it was going to happen. And the next thing you know is we're in Chicago over at Chip's house. He's got a joint that's this long, smoking a joint, going, "Play me the songs, bro." And I'm like, okay, this is really going to happen. And we lay down all the tracks in his house. Basically, we're just hanging out, talking with Chip. He's telling us the most amazing road stories you've ever heard. He's been there, he's done it, he's seen everything. Most importantly is he knows how to produce good songs. He knows how to bring out the best in us. He didn't come in with any preconceived notions. You know, he knew that we were a rock and roll band. He's seen our show, and he goes, we're just gonna make an awesome song that the record label's gonna want to make another record with us. That's our goal, is to make that step, make that jump up, produce the best possible songs that we can, because it's gonna, you know, it's what we're gonna tour on for the next year. And it's really, our goal is to push it. How far can you push it? As like an independent band, we're not independent anymore, but as a band, you're like, what are the limitations? How far can we take this thing before, you know, the wheels fall off? And I think with the Midnight Devils, it's really the sky's the limit. And we're seeing all these things open up, these opportunities, all these bands, you know, we wanted to do shows, and I don't take it for granted. And it really is a cool thing, especially like Monday for Memorial Day, Chip called me up just to chat. And I'm just like, I told my mom, I was sitting there next to my mom. I'm like, "Oh, Mom, I gotta go. Chip's calling me." She doesn't know who Chip is, you know, and she has no idea that is this guy that sold 1 million records. And I'm like, "Mom, that was Chip. He just wanted to call and talk about the record." She's like, "Well, he seems like a very nice person." You know, I'm like,
rock on, Mom.
Well, you have to meet him, Mom.
That's awesome. Oh my God, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I mean, and I think it's fantastic. That's why I was like, you know what? I think that's great information, you know, to be able to let, you know, the listeners know, you know, so they know a little bit more about you, and the fact that, you know, that if you have them on board with you, then you have the guidance of somebody who has been there, done that, knows all the ins and out of the industry. I myself have personally seen Enough's Enough, like, I don't know, 6-7 times myself. I mean, personally, I've seen them. They play, you know, Orange County a lot. You know, they would play down at the Anaheim House of Blues and, you know, in LA and stuff like that. So I've seen them. I've got a lot of their CDs signed posters and CDs from them. I love their music. A lot of people do. So, I mean, everybody knows who, you know, Enough's Enough is and Chip's Enough. So, I mean, the fact that you have his guidance, you know, with you, he's kind of like taking you under his wing in that manner. That's fantastic. And, you know, what a great opportunity to learn from somebody so already affiliated and so great and who's already succeeded so much and so far in the industry, because not everybody gets that opportunity,
Yep.
So I
And
think I just wanted to make sure people knew about that, and so that they could check you out and know that you've got some extra influence behind you, and there's another reason to go check you out, because if they even love any of their music, then they know they're going to automatically love yours because you got that guidance.
Yeah, it's kind of like this whole thing where we're an Omaha band, kind of based out of Omaha, kind of based out of Chicago, but it's a different feel out here than it is, say, in LA or in New York. And so I really think we're getting that Midwest feel into our music, into what we're doing. Chip's got these connections, and really through the Choir Boys tour, through Chip, we got hooked up with Artists Worldwide, which is this huge talent, management booking agency. Chuck at Artists Worldwide has been so good to us and has been hooking us up with all these incredible shows. So because of that, we got signed to Pavement Records, which is or Pavement Entertainment out of Chicago as well. The guy got it immediately. Goes, "You guys are a punk rock cross, a glam punk. I get it." And he was the only record label that got it. Everybody else passed immediately. Frontiers passed, Golden Robot passed. All these major labels that say that they're a glam rock label, they definitely are.
Hold on,
they couldn't handle us,
right?
Yeah. So I think to get back at them, I'm gonna send all those labels out a copy of our album once it's released.
Kicking yourself now, right? Kicking yourself
thank you for
now,
passing.
buddies.
And because of those relationships, we got invited to go down to Florida and play. We're going to be opening for Yngwie Malmsteen at the end of July,
nice.
Which is
Very nice.
It's a huge opportunity, and it's those things that you don't take for granted. You go, I don't know how we're going to make this work, but we'll take it and we'll figure out the rest later. That's how rock and roll is. It's supposed to be dangerous and unpredictable.
Sometimes go by the seat of your pants, and
absolutely,
and that's fantastic. Yeah, and you know what? Very congratulations on getting signed recently.
Thank you.
I didn't want to bring that up. I'm glad you did, because I remember I saw that in some of your information on that, and I thought, oh, you know what? That's fantastic, especially right now because it's so hard for bands to get out there and get seen, to where labels are looking at them. That's just happening now. So again, congratulations. That's a huge jump.
Thank you.
So again, everybody make sure to check out the Midnight Devils. We are speaking with Sam Spade. There are two other members, Jimmy Mess and Sniper. They are not here today, but he's already given them a shout out. Make sure to go and check them out, all their sites, check out their music. They have shows coming up. And then, we want to play some more music too, because again, we already are playing some music from them in rotation on Rockers Edge Radio. And so this is like us going back and being able to talk to the artists, from the music that we have playing. We don't just play, upcoming, and, or terrestrial. We play everybody, for everybody to get that platform, and give also us music fans that platform to hear new music. So it expands for the fans as well, and it definitely, I think, is that yin and yang, and definitely gives back. So now I want to be able to play another song. Now, would you like to go ahead and pick a song, or do you want me to go ahead and just pick something at random, or is there something you want to pick in particular? My choices? Okay, well, and then the other one, I actually like Something Bigger.
I love that
self-title of the song.
It's a good story on that song is I got fired. Like, I worked at a radio station, and I knew more about rock and roll than anybody at the radio station. Classic rock radio, I love classic rock radio. And they took me into the office one time. I got the leather vest on with the spikes. I'm like, I'm ready to work. Let's play some rock and roll. And the suit behind the counter goes, "We have to let you go due to budget cuts." And I go, "What? I know more about any of this stuff." And I go, "I'll work for free." And he goes, "Yeah, you can't do that. So today's your last day. Sorry." And I drove home just going, there's got to be something bigger around the corner. And that's kind of where the idea came from. It's play on words, obviously, but that's, the story behind that song.
You know what? And you know what? I think that's great. I love the fact that you told that, because I usually like to ask artists, when I, usually it's like, well, what's behind the song, or what did that come from? Because I tell my family and stuff, I said, people write about life. Artists and musicians write about life. So it's something that either happened to them, or somebody dear to them, or, or something that's going on in the world right now, So that's, I think, what also makes it really relatable and connectable to other people.
Absolutely.
So now that you know the song and you know a little bit more about it, make sure not to change that dial, because we're about to play it. So this is Something Bigger off the album Something Bigger from the Midnight Devils here on Rockers Edge Radio. Yeah, and all right. Once again, that was Something Bigger from the Midnight Devils off of their debut album, Something Bigger. That's why I had to
Yeah.
play it. And of course, at Rockers Edge Radio, we like bigger, don't we? Oh, this was great. I love it. This, the music again, that's why they're calling the Grand Slam Boogie Woogie Rock and Roll Band, because it makes you want to get up and move. I mean, everything
Yeah.
that I've heard from you just makes me want to dance, and I love that. I love when a band all their music makes me want to get up and do something, not just
Mhm.
sit there and listen, because I will listen to music in the background when I'm, studying for an interview and stuff like that. I really do listen to all the music. I'll go back and listen to previous music and things like that and get into the music because I like learning about new bands and new music, because then that expands, my music list and stuff like that, not just for the, listeners out there as well. So I really get into it. But yeah, everything with you is just like you couldn't help it. Even in the background, you're still like da 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 da. Whether you're
Yeah.
moving, doing laundry or whatever, you're still like dancing with whatever in your hand as you're walking around. So yeah, make sure to check them out, everybody. The Midnight Devils from Omaha, Nebraska, and Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah.
You're from both places as well. And now go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you, like where all your sites and stuff like that. And since you do have some shows coming up, plug those really fast again so people can know where where they're going to be able to come and catch you.
Sure. We are in everywhere that they stream music. We are at. So whether you're listening on Amazon, listening on Google Play, we are on Spotify. But I tell people don't listen to Spotify because it's the worst thing you can do for an artist is listen to their music on Spotify. Go out and buy their records, buy their songs. That's the real way that you support an artist, not by listening to them or liking them on Spotify. Spotify's easy, and I know it's changing the musical direction. I just don't. I don't like it. I'd rather buy the record. I want the record. That's what I want. So you can find us anywhere. TheMidnightDevils.com is our website. Facebook.com, The Midnight Devils. We're on Instagram. We're very active on our social media pages. It's a cool thing that one of our managers told us, we're all on the same level, especially during the pandemic, is all about engaging people. And people are sitting at home looking for entertainment. They're looking on their phones more than ever. So you should not skip out on doing social media posts. We're very active in engaging our fans. And it's kind of a cool thing to be able to reach all these people that are into the same style of music that we are. And it's so cool. The upcoming shows, what else were we talking about? Social media.
I saw that you have some for July. You have a little tour coming up in July. Tell us about that.
Upcoming shows. We go to the beginning of July. We're going to be at the M3 Festival. We're playing the M3 Party, which is in Hanover, Maryland, at the Cancun Cantina, I believe is what it is. But if if anybody knows the M3 Party, it's this huge 4-day festival where a lot of the East Coast bands, so like Kix will be there, all these huge acts, and all the 80s bands will be there. We'll be rolling around in full makeup and full hair, and it's just this giant celebration. And it's cool because it's not like the other festivals. For some reason, it has this weird East Coast vibe, which is very, very cool. We come back, we do a show in Nebraska. That'd be the 16th of July, this massive festival in small town Nebraska. And then we head to Florida for the Yngwie shows, 2 shows in Yngwie, Fort Lauderdale, and Clearwater Beach. And then through August and September, we'll be touring with Enough's Enough and Tora Tora. They haven't announced all those dates yet, but they're going to be coming. Then there's a massive tour that I can't talk about in November. I can't give you any more details, but it's going to be huge and it's going to be really cool.
Little secret there, a little
secret.
Foreshadowing. So, an exclusive secret. So now that we know about it, it's something we can kind of start watching for, and you have to make sure to follow their sites to find out what they're talking about. And
Get your plane tickets ready.
Exactly. I would love to be able to come out and see you. If you came close enough to me, I definitely would. Like I said, I love your music. It's fantastic. It's got me rocking. I know our listeners out there, they like that hard music. They like that music that makes them move. So I'm really happy that you're able to go back and talk to you, about everything and just, the process, and find out a little bit more about the band, since we are playing their music in rotation right now on Rockers Edge Radio. So we do have a lot of their music already playing. So this was our follow-up interview to find out about the people behind the music that you're already listening to. So make sure to support them and check them out. Now, before we close out, I do want to try to, squeeze in one more song, so sure. I did choose both of them. So I would like you to go ahead and choose Choose a song. Choose one more song to close out.
My
One more
favorite
song.
is Bleed Betty Bleed. That's a real boogie woogie one.
All right. Now tell us
It's
really
one
fast about
I
about
wrote
that
it
song.
I wrote it a long time ago in my buddy's basement, and I don't remember. The song lyrics are about it's about a girl. Go figure. It's about a girl that I dated that was exactly like me. We were both in bands. We both have blonde hair. We both played bass, and how it didn't work out at all. It was terrible. On paper, it worked. And then we got together and I'm like, this is the worst thing ever. Like, we're both so destructive. And so we were partying really hard back then, you know, and it didn't work out. But we got a good song out of the deal, and I'm still in contact with her. So it's all good.
It's all good. All right. And now you know the information behind it. And that's Bleed Betty Bleed by the Midnight Devils here on the Daily News Rock Show on Rockers Edge Radio. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back. and dance now,
I
right?
know.
I love that. So again, that was Bleed Betty Bleed by the Midnight Devils off of their new debut album, Something Bigger. So if they've
Yes.
got 11 tracks on that, make sure to download it. Like you said, buy the album. Don't just go and listen to it on whatever, app that you can find. Buy the album, do the old school thing, put it in hand. That's what I do too. I have like, different like posters and stuff from bands all over the place, all kinds and stuff, because I do the same thing. I love merch. I like to get the, merch. I like that old school
Yep.
stuff. And before we close out, and I know, really fast, you have a lot of merch out. I noticed that you do have a lot of merch already out.
Yeah.
And so let people know once again, really fast, where they can find you and where they can order your merch. And then if there are anything that maybe you want to give a shout out to somebody, something that we didn't touch on, or, somebody we didn't bring up. I know we did bring up the other band members earlier on in the interview. But if you maybe want to bring them up really fast again.
Yeah,
Or just
absolutely.
forget
Yeah,
them.
like
No.
I tell everybody we're so huge. Me and Sniper are huge fans of Kiss, right? So we kind of take that
Nice.
approach to everything, where it's like you want really good imagery to support your band, and so I think the best way to do that is with really cool merch. So we put out, we have new T-shirts with cool designs. We have just put out hats, released hats for the summer, like trucker hats. We got koozies. We got people that make bracelets out of our guitar strings, that like to use guitar strings.
Cool.
So custom made stuff. Yeah, it's all on the midnightdevils.com. You go there, you can order. And the cool thing is that I'm shipping it to you. It's not a company. It's nobody else. I have all the merch and I ship it straight to you. So it's still very punk rock, still very DIY. And I love when we get merch orders from all over the country, and it makes my day to see people that actually kind of engage and still go out and buy stuff from bands that they love. It's a really cool thing. I was doing it just today, buying records from bands that I love still off their website. It's a cool thing, and it feels as good as it did. It feels so much better than buying, say, an MP3 or downloading a record. It just doesn't have that same effect. So I think it's a cool thing. As far as shout outs go, shout out to you. Thank you for having me on. This has been a blast. And we'll be in California. I don't know if we'll be there this year, but we are scheduled to be on the Loudness tour. We're going to be opening, supporting Loudness on their US tour. And that is in early 2020. And I know that there's at least the LA show and an Anaheim show.
Oh, then I'm there.
Yeah.
LA or
Yep.
Anaheim. I'll do both. I'll go to both, man. I'll
Yeah.
between both of them. No problem. That would be great. I would love to see you live because like I said, I think it would be a great experience to go see you live. I just love hearing your music already now. I can just imagine. And something we forgot to touch on, really fast. I wasn't sure if I was the one who's going to be underdressed because I wasn't sure if you were going to show up in full makeup, stage makeup or not. And I was like, should I like do my little pirate makeup going on or what? I'm not really sure because they put on a full-on show. They've got the full makeup, gear, costume. They got everything going on. So when they give you a show, they give you a show. So it's definitely worth going.
Yeah, we really take that blueprint of what those guys did before us and then amplify it and make it, we call it like hyper glam rock is what we do. But it's those guys that came before, and we see what they did, what was successful, and then we take it and crank it up even louder and even hotter. That's what we do.
Right. And if you watch the good videos, go back and check out the videos, then you're going to know what we're talking about for sure.
Yes.
So awesome.
Well, you look amazing, though. You look amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I recently had my hair done.
I love it. It looks
I have
great.
to have somebody do it or I'll dye my face blue. I already know it.
I do too.
Well, thanks so much for tuning in. Again, if you're listening in right now, we are talking with Sam Spade, frontman, vocalist, bass player for the Midnight Devils. And we also, we are missing two of the members, but that is on drums. We got Jimmy Mess, and on lead guitar, we have Sniper.
That's right.
So shout out to the guys as well. Sorry you couldn't make it, but we were thinking about you in spirit, so make sure to check them out, download their music, go out and buy the album if you can. Catch them, order their merch, support the bands, support your local artists because they do their best to put music out there to support us and entertain us back. And it's a lot of work. It doesn't happen overnight. So, thank you so much.
Keep an eye out for, we'll have a new single coming out this year. So keep an eye out for a new single this year.
Awesome. And then you know what? You
Yep.
can always send it in to us, and we'll play it for everybody out
Perfect.
there. So
You
we've
you
been
need
getting some great feedback on the music. We really
you
have.
send me your mailing address, and I'll get you a signed copy of the album in the
Oh,
mail.
I would love that. I love that
Easy.
because if anybody knows me, y'all know I'm old school. I like that merch in hand. I have all signed signatures of
You got
everything.
it.
I got David Silvera drumsticks right here, original drummer of Korn. I've got all kinds of stuff. So I keep
Perfect.
that and I treasure that stuff. And I think that makes it more personable because then when fans receive something, they know it's coming from you. It's
Yep.
not coming from some big corporation that's just, mass producing something. It's coming
Mhm.
directly from the band. So you really are supporting that band. And by them sending them out, stuff out to you personally, they're trying their best to support you back, and to
Mhm.
show that appreciation. So once again, thanks so
Cool.
much for tuning
Thank
in.
you.
We're speaking with Dave Spade. Dave Spade. I'm sorry, Sam
Dave
Spade. That's a comic. That's not
Yeah.
a comic. So we can cut that out or leave it in. I get bloopers all the time.
Leave it in. I like it.
I'm okay. It's you, man. So
Yeah.
thanks so much. Don't forget, come back for more.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Rock on, everyone.